Hey guys, Chris Fix here, and today I'm going to show you how to install a hidden kill switch in your car or your truck. And the whole point of this kill switch is to prevent somebody from stealing your car. Even if they have your keys, if the kill switch is activated, they won't be able to start the car. They could try to hotwire the car, they could try to jump start your car, push start it. This kill switch is going to prevent the car from starting no matter what. The only way to steal your car is going to be to tow it. And the best part is, this is an inexpensive thing to install. It's going to cost less than $10 and it's going to take less than an hour. It's super simple. It works on most vehicles. Even if you already have an alarm system, this could work along with it. And it's unfortunate I even have to make this video. I live in a pretty nice development. It's pretty quiet here. Everybody's pretty friendly. But recently we've been having a lot of break-ins. People are getting the cars broken into. They're getting stuff stolen out of them. There's a few cars that have been stolen from neighborhoods nearby. My buddy saved up for a long time to get one of his favorite cars, a Honda S2000, in pristine condition, only to have it stolen and parted out a few days later. Not only was he heartbroken about his car getting stolen, but that feeling of helplessness and getting taken advantage of by a criminal was horrible. So that is exactly why I'm gonna be showing all of you guys how to install a kill switch, so you don't have to feel that way. You don't have to lose your car. Also, a lot of people are stealing stuff from garages. Don't look at that garage, it's a mess. So I'm also gonna be installing a SimpliSafe security system. I got a camera, I got a bunch of sensors, all that good stuff. So the garage is gonna be protected and the cars are gonna be protected. And here's all the tools that you need. It's super basic. We have a switch, we have crimp connectors, we have 16 gauge wiring, you need a multimeter, a crimpers, wire strippers, heat gun, and as always when you're working on a car, make sure you wear your safety glasses. So enough talking, let me go show you how to install a kill switch. And to start, you're gonna wanna know the basics on how this is gonna work. So the kill switch that we're going to install is gonna cut the power to the fuel pump relay. So this right here is the car battery. It supplies the 12 volts through the relay into the fuel pump. So our fuel pump is pumping fuel into the engine will run. Think of this relay as an on-off switch. When you put your key in the ignition and turn it to the run position to start your car, the computer is telling the fuel pump relay to turn on, and that is supplying power to the fuel pump. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna splice in our kill switch right here. That way, when our kill switch is activated, it cuts the circuit. The computer cannot send a signal to this relay, and this relay will not send power to the fuel pump. Therefore, the car won't start. It's really simple. All you need to do is find the fuel pump relay, and I'll show you how to do that right now. Now, the fuel pump relay is located in different spots for different vehicles. It'll be different in this Honda compared to this truck, and so on and so forth. To find your fuel pump relay, just check your owner's manual, check the service manual, do a quick online search, a 1993 Honda Del Sol fuel pump relay location, or whatever your vehicle is. In this case, it is right under the dash. Let me show you right down here. You can see right here is our fuse box. A lot of times the relay's in the fuse box, but in this case, Honda puts their relays back here. Here are all the different relays. And this gray relay right here is the fuel pump relay for this Honda. Now, if you're not 100% sure this is the correct relay, one thing that you could do to test is to put your fingers on it, and when we turn the key to the run position, the relay should click on. You'll hear the fuel pump run for a couple seconds, and then it'll click off because the fuel pump is primed. I could feel it and I could hear it, so I know for sure this is the correct relay. Now, to disconnect the wiring harness, you just press in this tab right here with your fingers and wiggle this back and forth like that and pull it out. Never pull from the wires, always pull from the connectors so we don't damage anything. And as you can tell, there's a ton of wires here, so how do we know which one we need to tap into with our kill switch? Well, it's pretty easy to figure out. Let me go show you how to do that now. So grab a multimeter, I'm gonna set it down right here, and we'll start by connecting the black probe to a ground. So we need to find a bare metal surface like this, and right here you can see a nice bare metal surface which is holding our hood release in. So grab your ground wire and connect it right to that chassis ground, and now our multimeter is grounded. And now we're gonna grab our multimeter and turn it on to DC volts. We wanna set it to 20 DC volts because 12 volts is the highest we're gonna see. Now we're gonna take our red probe, and what we're gonna do is we need to find which of these wires is gonna be hot, is gonna be on, providing 12 volts when the car is in the run position only. So when we turn the key, we get 12 volts. That's the wire coming from the computer going to this, triggering that relay. But before we turn the car to the run position, we just want to check real quick with the car off if any of these are 12 volts. If we find one that's 12 volts, we could ignore that wire. That one is hot all the time, and that's what the relay is going to connect to power the fuel pump. So the top right corner is hot all the time, 12 volts all the time. We don't have to worry about that one. Now let's turn the car to the run position. So now with the key in the run position, we're going to probe each one of these and just see which one is going to be our trigger wire, our 12 volts. There we go. So we have 12 volts with this one right here. I just want to check the others just to double check and make sure. Good, no voltage, and obviously this one will be 12 volts. That's always hot. So this one right here, I'm going to probe, I'm going to push this in. That one is 12 volts with the key on. If I shut the key, it goes down to 0 volts. When I turn the key on, it goes back up to 12 volts. So we want to follow that probe into the wire. The probe's at the top here. So it's this wire right here. You can see that's the correct wire. That is the wire that is coming from the computer and then triggering our relay to turn it on to give power to the fuel pump. So we need to splice into this wire right here. Now before we go cutting any wires, anytime you work with the wiring harness, we want to go under the hood and remove the negative cable from the battery. This will just prevent anything from shorting out or blowing any fuses, and it's what you want to do anytime you work on an electrical system. Now splicing into the factory harness is going to be the part that most people are apprehensive about. They don't want to do it because, well, what happens if you do something wrong? But don't worry, this is really easy. Here's a few quick tips. First, you don't want to cut near the connector. You also don't want to cut near the end here. You want to cut in the middle so you have a lot of room on both sides to work and splice in a new wire. So we're going to cut right here. Good. So now grab your wire strippers. These are automatic wire strippers that makes it nice and easy in these tight areas. You just clamp down and it strips it right off. So that's one side done. Let me give you a closer look when we do the other side. You just put the wire where you want it to get stripped, and the automatic wire stripper does its job. Beautiful. So now that both of our ends are stripped, we could add our kill switch. But we're not going to want to add the kill switch right here. We want to hide our kill switch, which is not going to be right next to this. So when hiding your kill switch, there's two things you want to think about. The first thing, you want to put it in a place that's easy to get to. Somewhere you don't have to reach all the way into the glove box every time and fiddle around. You're going to be doing this every time you go to start your car. So you want to make it simple to get to. Now with it being simple to get to, you don't want to make it easy to find. So you don't want to just put it under the dash where the criminal's going to look. That's like the first place when they can't go to start the car. They're going to feel for switches down here. So don't put it under the dash. You want to find someplace hidden, someplace where, they're not likely to look. The radio is actually not a good idea because a lot of criminals, when they can't steal your car, they're going to try to steal your radio. But a lot of people like to put it underneath the seat. You have to reach somewhere. It's harder to find. It's easy to get to. Another place is the glove box. Again, if you have stuff in here, it's harder to find, but it's easy to get to. Get creative. This is the part where you can have some fun. So I'm going to share with you my spot. I'm going to end up having to change it because millions of you are going to see this. But my spot, which I think is a really cool creative idea, is in the shifter boot. So underneath the shifter boot, we're going to find a spot. You can't see the switch, but you could easily feel it and turn it on and off. So that's where we're going to place our kill switch. But again, be creative. Have fun with this. Place it somewhere unique. So since I told you we're going to put it right here, this is where we're going to go and run our wires from. So let's take the center console apart. Since the previous owner never put the screws back into the console, it lifts right out. Same with the front part of the console. Oh, we gotta unscrew the shift knob first. Good. Now the console will come out the rest of the way. And check this out. We have a flat surface down here and a flat surface up here to mount the switch into. Now we want to unscrew the two screws holding in the shifter boot. That's one. And let's get the other. Good. And now the shifter boot comes right out just like that. Next, let's grab the switch and match it up to see if it'll fit. And that's looking pretty good right there. So let's make a mark in the middle here. Then grab a center punch and we want to indent the spot we just marked. And what this does is it puts a little indentation. That way, when we get our drill bit, the drill bit won't skip around. It falls right into that indentation and it won't move at all. So it makes it a lot easier to drill. So we're going to start with this small drill bit and then we're going to work our way up to this bigger one. So on a slow speed and with some decent pressure, let's get the first hole drilled out. Now with the bigger drill bit, let's drill the hole out to fit the switch. Good. Now we could test fit our switch. Beautiful. Now we could add our on-off plate. This is going to act more like a washer since we're not actually going to be able to see this. Then I'm going to add a little bit of thread locker on here just so our switch doesn't come loose. And then we have our locking nut which goes right on the end and we could tighten this down. And our switch works great. That's perfect. The only thing that I'm concerned about is these wires right here against this metal surface. Over time, they could chafe and that could short out. We could break a wire and then we wouldn't be able to start our car. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little rubber wire protector and I'm gonna just slide this over the wires. I'll slide that down and you can see now it's protected so our wires won't chafe. We'll add a little bit of black tape to hold that in place and that is good to go. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to make a quick disconnect. That way if we ever need to remove this interior piece, we could easily just disconnect this. And to do that, we're gonna use these crimp-on spade connectors. All they do is they slide right in and there's a good connection there. And then when you wanna separate it, they come right apart. So we're gonna put 2 of the male spade connectors on the end here. But first, let's add some heat shrinking on each wire. Then we could push on our spade connector, crimp it so there's a good connection, and so this doesn't come loose. Move the heat shrink up over the connector. Finally, use a heat gun to shrink the heat shrink, and do the same exact thing to the other spade connector. Push it on, crimp it, move the heat shrink up, and use a heat gun to shrink the heat shrink. And there we go. Now we have 2 quick disconnect spade connectors that are properly crimped and heat shrinked on there. Alright, so with our switch in, that works absolutely perfect. That's so good. Now we could go and install this back in the car. And back in the car, we need to run some wire. We're using 16 gauge wire, and we need to run it from right about here all the way under the dash to our fuel pump relay. So I'm going to put the wire on the shifter since that's about where it's going to end up, and it also makes it easier for us to run it all the way to the relay. So make sure you have enough wire, then we could cut it. And since we need 2 wires, use the wire you just cut to measure the second wire. And we could cut it to the same length. Now let's strip the ends of the wires, add heat shrink to both wires, then add the female spade connector and crimp it. Then do the same for the other wire as well. Finally, move the heat shrink over the entire connector and use a heat gun to shrink the heat shrink. Perfect, and I always like to run wires in a wire loom to protect it from chafing. So just press the wires into the loom and work it all the way to the end of the loom. Good. Now we could run our wires. Let's snake this back behind the center console area so it's hidden and out of the way. Then we could connect our switch to each of the connectors. Don't worry, the order you connect these in is not important. Just make sure the connection is good and tight. And I'm going to add some electrical tape to each connector to make sure it's extra secure and it's shielded so it doesn't ground out by mistake. Okay, so slide the loom all the way up to the back of the switch so the wires are protected. Good. And finally, we could snap our center console back into place and get the shift knob on. And let's try out this switch. Beautiful. That is such a perfect spot for a kill switch. Okay, now let's finish running our wire to the relay so we could try this out. Now, when you're running your cable down here, you have to be very careful. You don't want to get in the way of the clutch, the brake, or the accelerator pedal. So we want to make sure this is up and out of the way. So let's get it up and over that metal brace, then up and over the steering column, and finally tuck it behind the fuse box back by the relay. And now with the wiring harness up and out of the way, so it won't get in the way of anything like the pedals, we could connect our kill switch to the wires that go to the relay. So here we're going to use crimp butt connectors, and when using these, you want to make sure the copper goes all the way in. You don't want any copper exposed like that. If the copper sticks out into the clear area, cut it and make sure the copper goes all the way in, just like that. Then we could crimp that side of the connector, and finally give it a good tug. Make sure this crimp is tight and the wire won't come out. And that's in there good. Now let's crimp the other side, and it's the same process. Push the wire all the way in, then crimp it, and finally we can heat shrink both sides with the heat gun. So with that side done, now let's go do the other side. We're gonna follow the same exact process. Get that crimp connector in there, make sure there's no copper showing, crimp down on it nice and tight, and then double check to make sure it's in there good and that is not budging. Now we could do the same thing to the wire back here, and you can see right away the copper end is way too long, so let's trim it. Then add the butt connector, perfect. Crimp the connector nice and tight, then do the pull test, and that's not going anywhere. So let's heat shrink it for a waterproof seal. And the last thing I want to do is wrap the harness in electrical tape to make it neat. Finally, we could push the connector into the relay and make sure you hear a click, like that. Also, don't forget to reconnect the negative cable of the battery so we could test out our kill switch. All right, with that battery connected, I didn't install the center console because if there's any issues, it makes it easier. We just have to pull this out to make sure we could fix whatever the issue is. I don't plan on there being any issues, but it's a good practice when you're working on cars. Don't put everything back together until you test it out. And that's what we're about to do right now. Moment of truth. We're in neutral. I think the switch is deactivated, so it should be ready to start up. All right, it starts right up, foot off the clutch, and we're good to go. Now I'm gonna shut the car, I'm gonna flip our kill switch, and I'm gonna start her back up. Woo, baby! Now that is what I'm talking about, and a criminal's gonna be like, what the heck? Why won't it start? Pumping the gas, nothing. Flip that kill switch. Starts right up. Oh man, that is exciting. So let's finish this install up by adding our last center console piece. And there's a screw in here I'm gonna tighten down to hold the console in. Perfect, with the center console in, our kill switch is in. Gonna activate that so nobody could go and start my car. We are done installing the kill switch, and there's one more thing to do. And that is to install a home security system to protect my tools, to protect my car, basically everything in my garage. And it's actually pretty cool how I got this security system. I posted on my Instagram asking you guys, what do you do for security systems in your car to prevent your car from getting stolen because of all these break-ins? And SimpliSafe actually commented on my post, and they sent me out this entire home security system. So thank you, SimpliSafe, for supporting this video and sending me out an entire security system. So now let's get this installed real quick. And the goal obviously is to protect the garage and the new vehicle that I am going to be putting in the garage, also the vehicles outside. And this is very easy to set up. If you could put a kill switch in your car, you could easily add another effective and reliable layer of security, especially with these motion sensors and this glass break sensor. And the feature that I've been wanting real bad is a security camera. And I have it pointed to the most important part, my driveway, so I can keep an eye on all my vehicles. And I think you guys get the idea. Now I'm gonna install the rest of this off camera so you don't have to watch me. I did check online because this was sent to me. I wanted to see how the pricing was, and it was pretty fair. They also have no contracts. And finally, I do have mine monitored by professionals, so if somebody breaks in, they will call the cops and the cops will come, which is good. So all my cars, my tools, all that stuff is protected. Now we have all the cars. I need to put kill switches in the rest of them, but all the cars have kill switches in them, and then I have a security system ready to go. And the reason why, besides people breaking in recently, the reason why I did this was because I ended up buying my dream car. This mid-engine beast with all-wheel drive is something I've wanted since I was a little kid, and I had to protect it. And I will unveil my dream car in my next video, so stay tuned for that. I think you guys are finally understanding why I've been getting so crazy with the security stuff, with the home security system, installing kill switches in your vehicle. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned how to install a simple kill switch. Very cheap, very effective. If the video was helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell for more how-to videos like this. And as always, all the tools and products I used in this video are linked in the description. Stay tuned.